Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk, and this, my friends, is The Thunder Show, aka the internet's most passionate wine program, and this is a phenomenal day for so many different reasons. We have a lovely guest, but it's also the first time I get to talk to you after my New York Jets defeated the worst and horrible team in football. I think we did it for everybody. I mean, we're all rooting for the Jets, I think, collectively around the league, and now we have set ourselves up to be the team to defeat the Tennessee Titans. I'm excited about that. But I'm equally excited about eating chocolate with red wine, and that's why we have our guest here. Suzanne, how are you?
Good. It's me.
Tell the Vayniacs who you are, what you do.
I am
and why you're here. Sorry. Go.
I'm Suzanne Pfeiffer Pavitt. Pfeiffer Pavitt Phonetics, remember that? It's good spelling.
Pavitt.
And I'm here to talk about our Date Night Cabernet. First release, 2005. And to remind everyone to go on a date night if they haven't lately. And throw in a little chocolate just to sweeten things up a little bit.
So, the date night concept. So that's the name of the wine I see, date night.
Yes.
And it's got a cowgirl
Yep.
on the label. Where did that come from?
Just a little inspiration.
Yeah, she's kind of sexy.
It's a little vintage,
Yeah,
a little edgy.
It is a little vintage. So what is the thought behind this? How did you get involved? This is your wine?
Yes.
Are you the winemaker? Do you own the vineyard? Is this bought fruit? Tell them the whole story. The Vayniacs are very curious.
We are the proprietors, my husband Shane and I, and we were both in the rat race, corporate world. I was traveling, technology, wanted to make a change, start a family. And this was when Under the Tuscan Sun was a big play, and the book, and Frances Mays and all that, and we kind of fell in love with that whole lifestyle. And
You got romanced.
We did. And we said, let's just pack it up and move to Tuscany. And then we thought that through a little bit and decided that being that far away from our family was not ideal. And said, well, if we could do anything, what would we do? Said, we'd make some wine. So we started looking. Long story short, we bought some property in Calistoga, California. Dreamt up this whole concept and went through trademark searches and trying to come up with names. And one night on our weekly date night, we said, my husband actually said, you know, it's all we ever talk about on date night. Why don't we just call the dang thing date night? I said, it's not really inventive, but it works. And that's where it kind of started. He said, you know, every big decision we've ever made, let's buy the property, let's move to Tuscany, it's not, let's take that job, let's have babies, let's get married, was all on date night. So why not have our wine be called date night? And so there you have it.
That's really darn cool. So your husband and you have a date night once a week?
Yes.
Is that on Thursday, Wednesday?
Rotates. Usually Wednesday or Thursday. But when we were traveling, before we got married, then once we had children, we just made that commitment to each other to find
Super smart.
a little bit of time somewhere.
Ma, you and I should have a date night. You like that idea? And so the inspiration of this wine for you is, are you, by calling it that and kind of where you're going, you mentioned right in your opening dialogue, remember your date night, are you inspired because you feel it's such a cornerstone of what you and your husband have,
Absolutely.
that you'd like to see other people have that
Absolutely.
same connection?
Absolutely.
And this is kind of an extension of it?
And date night doesn't have to
question,
be, yeah.
Sorry.
Date night doesn't have to be this long drawn out fly across the world. You could just go to the bookstore or go to a wine shop and have a glass of wine, try some cheese, just to find some time where you two, that person you care so much about with, fell head over heels in love with, you sit across and have a conversation uninterrupted. That's the idea. And so that's the hope, is that that people will do that. But
With this wine.
Preferably
At
with
$75
this wine.
bucks.
$75, that's right.
So tell me about the business side of it. This is Napa fruit. This comes from your vineyard or not
No.
yet?
This comes from a grower, Arthur Spencer, Temple Family Vineyards there in the Napa Valley, organically farmed. And we hired a rock star winemaker,
Who is?
Ted Osborne, and he is just fantastic.
What other projects does Ted do?
Ted has done projects around the world, but in the Napa Valley he was with Storybrooke, and then he was with Pina, and he has his own label is Olabisi. And we love his style of winemaking.
He did great work at Pena.
He did.
And Storybrooke Zins are some of the most interesting out there.
Absolutely. And
Okay.
we'll see what you think about his newest project. And so he basically put that together. We buy fruit from a grower, and then we use what's called a custom crush, because we don't make the wine on our process. So we
Where
are
do you do it? The Napa Valley
We
Wine Company?
do at, actually we're at Raymond now.
Okay. Are a lot of people at Raymond?
Yeah, it's a pretty big. We were at Laird, and then moved to Raymond, getting a little closer to home because we're up in Calistoga.
And production on the 05?
300 cases.
12 packs.
Yes.
Okay. And how did it come out?
I think it's fantastic.
You love it? All right, let's check it out. We've also got the 06, which isn't out until March.
That's correct.
So we've got to consider, so it's a barrel sample.
Yes.
Okay. All right, here is the 05. It's a great color. 75 bones. Really nice package. Oh, look, a Little Boy. You spent the extra bucks on the Little Boys meant there on the package, huh? I like that. It's a good commitment. I love the color.
Hand labeled.
Hand labeled.
It's a 270-degree wrap, so the labelers will not tolerate the change in the bottle and the size, so they're all hand labeled.
And you have a website and people can sign up for the mailing list?
We do.
Mott, link that up. Okay, let's get into it.
Okay.
First, let's give it a snippy sniff. Actually, I poured a little too much. I got excited. All right, little snippy sniff action. So I'm getting a lot of red fruit coming through on the nose. What are you picking up on the nose of this wine?
Just berries.
Berries. Agreed. I get a lot of red fruit coming through on this. I get strawberry, I get a little raspberry as well. So a little bit more of a red fruit component coming through on this wine than blackberry or blueberries. More of a red fruit than a dark fruit kind of component. I also get a lot of a little bit of like a mocha chocolate Starbucks action kind of thing going on the nose. So I get a lot of chocolate, almost like, you know, high levels of chocolate, shredded, dry chocolate. A lot of fruit. It's also creamy. I mean, do you know what the oak program is on this? Are you using 100% new, or what are you doing?
We're 18 months in new French oak.
100%. Yeah, so you're definitely getting a little bit of, I wouldn't say it's, the oak monster, but you're definitely getting the vanilla that you're going to get in all new French oak coming through. Though, I've got to admit, I would have not completely guessed that it would be all French and new, all new, excuse me, more so, because when you tend to go that heavy on a new oak program, it tends to get really gooby and gobby and over the top, and I'm not getting that sense here, which is a very good thing for me, for my palate.
For me as well. For me as well.
So good. By the way, the beard, not shaving until the Jets lose. Just, you know, it's going well. I mean, if they beat Tennessee this week, I could start looking like you in a couple weeks. All right. Anything else you're picking up on the nose?
A little tobacco for me.
I'm not getting as much. You know what I'm getting? I'm almost getting like a little bit of like a roasted tomato component. Like this kind of like, almost like, you know, kind of rustic. I wouldn't call it rusty nail, but kind of like sun-dried tomato kind of thing, which I like. Yeah. All right, let's give it a whirl. She has her own bucket, so we've addressed that issue. You could drink it if you want. You don't have to spit.
Oh, good. I prefer to.
Yeah, I kind of got that sense.
So spit it out.
Now, we're going to taste it like this, and we're going to taste it with the chocolate. One of the real neat things is we've decided to make this a Cabernet and chocolate episode. I think it's one of the great pairings in the wine world. We've not addressed it almost 600 episodes in. Maybe once, if you go way, way back. But we have some chocolate here. Now, the funny thing was, you brought some chocolate, and we actually carry it in the store, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Is this the one that you normally bring? You like this?
I love this chocolate. The story behind this is it's a New York chocolatier. And this woman, Kathy Moskell, who had a friend that was diabetic and wanted a chocolate that she could enjoy. And so, long story short, they came up with this chocolate that folks that are low glycemic can absolutely try. It's Ecuadorian farmed, organic. It's just a real artisanal product that we loved. And a blogger actually got these chocolates and got our wine and tried them and just went nuts. And that's how I heard about it. I said, oh, I'd like to try it.
It's very 2008.
It's very vogue. And so I called her up and said, I'd like to try these chocolates. And she sent them out. And then
now you guys are friends for life.
Now we're friends for life. Yeah. I'm going to see her after this today.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let me get into the wine first before the chocolate. This to me is a textbook Napa Valley Cabernet of that premium level. When I taste this wine, it reminds me so much of so many of the wines that you guys have had out there, whether it's, you know, a Schaefer, whether it's a David Arthur, whether, you know, it's a Peter Michael. It's got that classic explosive fruit. It's punching you. There's no subtle aspect to the fruit of this wine. But what I like about this wine, it has a very sensible and strong mid palate. Good transition of fruit. Nice long finish. Is it the most complex wine I've ever had? It's not, because that's just not what Cabernet does in general, especially when you're doing such a heavy oak program where you're going to get, there's trade-offs. When you do New French Oak, 100%, you're going to get the creaminess, you're going to get the vanilla, you're going to get a lot of that, but you are going to miss out on some of the nuances from the terroir of the ground because the oak hides it. That's just what happens. That being said, it comes with a very serious level of delicious factor, which I think is something a lot of people can wrap their head around. Now, at the $75 price point, it's a little bit of a debate city for my palate. Obviously, with the economic situation, people have to be kind of thoughtful about their purchases. That being said, there is a boatload, I mean like Noah's Ark, boatload of California Cabernets that are over $100 that are not of this caliber. So that's a very good point. On the flip side, there's a lot of things that run through my mind at $50, let's say from places where my palate, maybe a Bordeaux, or even there are some California Cabernets that in the $50 to $70 range I think can rival this wine. There's a couple things that I think make this more specific. One is its mid-palate. If you're a big fan of looking for mid-palate, that's the only thing I'm really thinking about, to be honest with you, is its mid-palate. That's the separator. That's the differentiator between this wine and so many of the other characters in California in this price point. That's where I'm starting. What do you have to add?
Well, on the price point, I would just say that when you're, first of all, Napa Valley fruit, number one, organically farmed, number two.
By the way, you're talking to Mr. Commerce Americana.
Yeah.
I charge $800.
Just those pieces.
No
so
question.
we actually feel like
you're value driven.
We're value driven.
You're value driven at 75 bones.
Yep.
You feel strong about that.
I feel strong about it.
I respect that.
Because in a lineup with other wines that we've been incredibly blessed and fortunate first year out. I mean, this is our very first wine.
Right.
So to be here, to just be noticed, to be written up is an incredible blessing for our family.
What has been the biggest press? I think we've got you here. It's fun, I think, for people that are getting into wine, seeing the backstory. What was the first couple tipping points you had? What kind of major press, or what have you felt?
Well, right off the bat, Spectator wrote about it, so that's not a bad gig.
That's right from the top. Did they score it?
Yeah, scored it with a 90 3 months into the bottle.
A 90-point score?
So we
were barrel sample, Neo 5 barrels.
Basically. And so we were just thrilled.
So Lauby came through.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we were thrilled. We didn't even know we got it. So that was also kind of peculiar. So that was really great. And then we've had this huge phenomenon with this whole blogger community and people out there. People that write for Great Wines Under $20 said, but we have to write about this wine. We love the story. We love the connection, the family.
Was this something that you guys were just bright about and actually reached out to these people, or was this pure luck?
Most of it's pure luck. I mean, just someone hears about it, and our whole campaign with our wine, 300 cases, you don't have a huge marketing budget.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
It is, you open a bottle of wine with a friend and you love it, and they love it, and then they tell someone who tells someone who tells someone. So it's just this perfect marriage of, okay, we don't have the winery on our site. We don't grow the fruit on our site. I'm not the winemaker. My husband's not the winemaker. We put all of these pieces together.
You're the puppet masters.
Basically.
Like the evil puppet masters. Oh, the nice puppet masters.
No. Or marionettes.
No, but I mean, at some level, you're doing what a lot of people can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think there's some fascination to that.
Absolutely.
If you have the time and the means, you can really, you're the cook, right? You're putting the pieces together.
Absolutely. And if you're a cook and you want to make a great meal, you have to use all great ingredients. And so we tried to put together the greatest team.
From the fruit, from the people.
Exactly. And then we drink with people that we love and they think they'll love it. And like you said, it's not everyone's palate. But for those that it is, for 1 second, if it reminds them to reconnect with someone special, then that's a good thing.
Then you've accomplished your mission.
Then we've accomplished our mission.
Where would you like to see the brand go?
We like the brand to stay in a boutique format, just like we are.
Do you see yourself as a 1,500 case brand, as a 4,000 case brand? You have no idea.
Our 5-year plan is a maximum of 1,000.
1,000 cases. Okay.
And we have our mailing list. Folks tell people about it. They sign up. They buy our wine. We have an annual pickup party in our barn. We meet those people, hopefully. We just had one. We had people come from Alabama and New York and all over, and we get to meet them and connect, and then they tell us about their date night stories, and it's fun. We're having a lot of fun with it.
That's awesome. All right, let's get into the chocolate.
Okay, so the Very Chocolate folks tried this, and we have a beautiful one for presentation over there, and it's pronounced Very.
Very, okay.
And their folks in their factory tried them, and then we also tried them, and they have a lot of wonderful chocolates, but with this flavor that pairs with our wine, the salty caramels jumped out as an outstanding, and the chocolate almond clusters.
These clusters over here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's try cheese. Come on. Eat one.
Yeah, try one.
They're delicious looking. I like how they put that just out of reach for you. All right, let's try the salty. All right, so let's see how much this impacts the flavor profile. So for you, you've seen this as a great marriage, or giving you a totally different flavor on the...
Totally different flavor.
Normally the case.
It's a great experience. It's and these are sweetened with agave nectar, so not sugar. So it's a whole different experience.
How do you like yours, Mom? Did you guys like some?
And it's 75% cacao level, so it's actually good for you.
I know, that's the beauty of it, chocolate these days. So right off the bat, when you pair the chocolate with salt, you're getting the tannins on the wine are growing up in your palate, which is really fascinating. Much higher tannin count, which for me actually brings a lot more to the table. To me, there's so much fruit at some level with this wine that it needs a little bit of a different direction, and the higher level of tannins here are making it more exciting right off the bat. So. You know, this wine, I'm laughing because this wine is really reminiscent to me of a lot of the 97 Napa Valley Cabs. 97 was such a special vintage, and the fruit was so pure. I mean, I used to call it from vineyard to palate. And this wine tastes like from vineyard to palate. It's so fruit-oriented, and it's just a hair under fruit bomb. I mean, a couple more berries in there, and we could be getting a little bit uncomfortable in the set, because I'd be like, this is a fruit bomb. It's not, I'm shocked that this is 18 months new French oak. 100% new French oak.
We can verify the stats with the winemaker,
but you're pretty sure.
Yeah, it changes. Well, you'll see when we taste 06.
Okay,
it's not. It doesn't stay on the new French oak, and it's also wild yeast fermentation, an extended cold soak maceration. So it's just we're trying to be really natural, like I said, straight from the vineyard to the bottle. Minimal intervention, which there is a period of time where you're completely nervous, not sure what's going to happen. And then that's why you have a great winemaker who keeps
knows
track
what to
of
do.
that. Yeah, little poker playing.
All right, Matt, let's get into the 06. I'll score the 05 in a minute. The 06 date night. Released in March. And you're 09. Well, it'd be real tough to release in March 08.
Released is in, We don't want to confuse our viewers.
You know what? That was a tremendous point. Viewers, I apologize if I'm confusing you. All right, let's give this a sniffy sniff. So this is a little bit more of a close down stage. Aromatically, it's definitely much more tight. This actually is ironic. This has a little bit more black fruit coming through in the nose to me. This is a little bit more like black cherry, a little blackberry. It tends to have a little bit more black fruit characteristics coming through. There's also a little wood chippy action on this, so there's a little bit of that oak coming through. Let's give it a whirl. I like this better.
I thought you might.
I like this better. I mean, to me, this is a much more...
little less new oak.
Is that right? So, my palate's pretty consistent. I mean, to me, this has much more focus. New oak, in my opinion, the best way I can put it is it creates love handles, right? It's just not as tight. There's a little love handles. Now, that's ironic, because in real life, I prefer a little love handle action. But in my wines, I want it to be a little bit more leaner and focused. And so this, on the nose and on the palate, is much more of a dark fruit component wine. It is much more focused, like laser tag up in here, like ping, like photon, like that focused fruit right down the mid palate, right down the middle of your palate. It also has a tremendous mid palate, like the last wine. That's to the winemaking. I mean, that's really my takeaway from your wine is going to be the mid palate, which so many $50 to $100 Napa Valley cabs half-ass is the best way I can put it. Great length, just a little bit of a charcoal component on this wine, which I like quite a bit. To me, this is just a more refined, more complete effort. It's just, it's kind of like, I was thinking about Chuck Bass earlier. Chuck Bass, if you know who he is, you know who he is. The way he dresses is complete. Everything is in perfect order. This is more Chuck Bass. It's just, that's a little more Dan Humphrey. Anyway, so I'm going to...
I think I love the 05. I think the 06 takes up the sophistication level. Just
yeah, I don't know if to me, I don't want to kind of put it that way because I think some people think it's better or more real.
No, it's just different.
It's different. Yeah. I'll tell you one thing. It's definitely more food friendly. Mm-hmm. No question. I don't really see myself drinking, the 05 with a lot of food. To me, it's a standalone, because it's got so much fruit. Whereas this, I'm like immediately as I was drinking it, I'm like, oh man, I want, some, big meat, like wild boar. Where's the mashed potato? I just started thinking food right away, where the other one, I thought party. I thought like, okay, like, tasting, getting together. Sure. So they come across very differently. For me, I'll be honest with you, it's always more exciting when you see the newer vintage hit your palate better because you feel like the program's going in maybe. Sure. And again, this comes down to the simple fact of this. The majority of people who are watching this show right now are probably going to like the 05 better. I'm not kidding. It's, you notice I didn't say the 06 had the delicious factor. Though it is delicious, it's not so in your face. It's like everything is brighter with the 05. It's kind of like clothes the first couple times you wear them, but then you wash them and the colors go away a tad. But to me, that's a little bit better with wine. And that's what I see the difference between 05 and 06. Was that right? But you know what I mean?
No, kind of.
But it's the brightness factor.
You're supposed to use woolite so the colors don't go.
So I don't know those kind of things. I don't think I've ever washed a piece of clothes in my entire life. Thanks, Mommy and Liz. All right, so what do you think about the 06?
I love the 06. I mean, it's still...
they're all your children, right? You're not going to be like, the 05, so,
Yeah,
But for you, if you had to, for your palate, remember, it's just your palate.
Right.
They are stylistically different.
Yeah, they are stylistically different. When you said that about the food, though, I made a great omelet with some portobello mushrooms and some sun-dried tomatoes and had it with that wine, and it was like rock star. And I would never eat eggs and drink wine, but it worked like that. It was really great. This wine is still unfolding. I mean, it's
true. It's still in the barrel.
It's still growing up.
In theory, it could gain a little bit of love handles as it gets older. So maybe
a little bit. You never know. But I love them both. But I think this one has got just a little bit more refined than this. I love the 05. It is a fun party wine. It is a great drinking wine. I love it with the chocolates. So we'll see. I love them both.
For my palate, the 2005 is a very solid bottle of wine, but on my palate, it rolls in an 89 plus type kind of wine. The 06, to me, really hits to me, this is really the blueprint for my palate. And remember, don't listen to me. Trust your own palate. Drink your own things. But to me, this rocks. To me, this really brings it. I really like it. I'm dying. When do you release it?
End of March.
Oh, so it's right. I'm sorry. So we're about 4 months away. Very curious where this goes in the next 6 to 8 months. Be really interesting to drink it at this point, like the 05. But to me, this is more of a 92 plus point wine. I think this really rivals a lot of the California cabs that I like out there. $75 is a lot of money to make for investment for a date night wine. But if your date night's on Friday or Saturday, I guess you're probably spending that kind of money anyway, right?
Easily.
So at the end of the day, what I would be rest assured to say is this. If you are a Caymus drinker, if you are a cake bread drinker, if you're drinking those kind of wines, I think that this is a tremendously well-made Cabernet that needs to be recognized, put in that sentence. And to me, to be honest with you, at least on the 06, where the 05 probably acts more like those wines to me, the 06 definitely goes a step above, brings a little more thunder. As a matter of fact, with its thought process, with its approach with dark fruit, it does remind me what I love so much about Schaefer, for instance. So a well-made wine, and kudos to the vineyard manager and the winemaker, and I guess the puppet masters behind it, because it's a sensational effort. A very good bottle of wine. I like it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
you.
Anything else you want to talk about the project? You just want to force people to go out on dates.
No, I don't
Okay.
want to force them.
I
I
do.
just would like to remind them, if they haven't
Mott,
made
you have
time.
a tremendous wife.
I do.
You should take her on a date.
I should.
Please.
I will.
Will you promise here right now?
I will.
The one thing that
See-
I would
see what we
say,
did? See what
that's
we did?
good. That's you've committed on behind the camera somewhat. The one thing I would say about the 05, the only other thing is that folks who heretofore have not been quote unquote red wine drinkers love this wine.
I understand.
It's approachable
It's a delicious wine.
and it doesn't take over. You know, you've got to kind of
The
train your
debate, the
palate.
debate as a wine person,
Yeah.
and I love that you're here, and thank you so much. The debate is, can you get that for $40 or $30 or $50 from Australia, for example, for delicious factor, where the 06 brings so, I mean, as I'm tasting it now I'm getting a second tier black tea component. I mean, there's something really more going on there. And I think that's what you pay for, at least as a wine consumer, that's what you pay for. But, you know, it's a well put statement. Mott, let's make sure there's only 300 cases made of this wine. I have a gut feeling that they're going to get pretty popular, which makes me recommend that you get on their mailing list, Vaniacs, because at the end of the day, I think that's how this wine's going to be sold. If they're only planning to go to 1,000, with the way the laws are going, they don't want to share the profits with the wholesalers or dumb retailers like me. They're way too smart for that. So get on the mailing list before it gets dried up, and definitely, if you're balling like P. Diddy and Jay-Z, definitely pick up some 06, because I think it's very, very serious. Susanna, ask the question of the day, because that's what the guests do on the
the
Thunder Show.
question for the Vaniacs.
You can ask them anything you want. Doesn't have to be
Anything?
wine related,
No.
but it has to be a question, and they will answer it. That's what they do.
The question is, have you taken that special someone out on a date night lately?
That's a great one. And give us details, right? We're Yentas.
Well, you
We're
can
interested.
post your date night
Yeah,
story on our site. Give us your best date night stories, and it doesn't have to involve
Mott,
our
link that up
wine.
as well. The mailing list and the date night thing. They can get real juicy in there. I gotta read it.
Well, we do screen them. You
Oh,
know,
darn.
they need to be clean.
They
We
can't
have
be
small
extra-
children too.
I respect
Yeah,
that. Thanks for being on.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much.
having me.
You, with a little bit of me and wonderful puppet masters like this, we're changing the wine world. See, this is what happens when I'm excited about a Jets victory and we have great wine and we're having a good time. Couple quick shout outs. Number one, Thanksgiving packs, almost all gone. Mott, link that up. Number two, big shout out, happy birthday to John C. Belated. His birthday was the same as mine last Friday. Happy birthday, November 14th, fellow friend. And number three, big news, coming to San Francisco December 6th. You might have noticed the Jets are playing the 49ers December 7th. So we're having a big party at Fort Mason, second annual. I think it's $30 for the food or what have you. We have a link, small group. So first come, first serve. We've got to link it up right now. I'm going to bring at least a case of mixed phenomenal wine. Hang out, get to see fellow Vaniacs. Mott, link that up December 6th. I hope to see you if you're in the San Francisco area.
And then come see us. Come
See
on,
them.
Come see us.
You can date. It'd be tremendous.
Bye.